Patriot, looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and/or want to help continue your mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we want to put the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to Playtime. We got your 6 at 6. Now here's your host, Shad Turner of Veterans Unite Podcast and the People's Patriot Project. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Shad Turner from Veterans Unite Podcast, and we are live with We've Got Your 6 at 6. Thank you. Finally got that out. And tonight we've got Mark Peterson from People's Patriot Project, along with Andrea Eichmann from also People's Patriot Project. And we've got a great guest. We've got Lori Moore. And we've also got a great musical guest. We've got Jesus Hernandez. I would try to roll my R's, but I just can't do that. And it drives my wife nuts because we've been married 18 years and I still can't roll my R's. But anyways, that's another subject for another time. But first, we've got to start the show off right. And to do that, we've got to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you can stand, please do. If you're wearing a hat, please take it off. And let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hot diggity. How are you guys doing today?
Right?
We're doing awesome, brother.
Well, I tell you, I have had what's that?
I wasn't confident that our intro was going to feather out there. I didn't know what was going on. We had a lot of double things going on. Did you guys get that on your side, or was that just on my side?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It worked out. It worked out.
And I tell you what, I don't know about y'all, but I had a weird day today.
Uh-oh.
What I mean by weird is I went over to my house where my sister-in-law lives because they've got my dogs over there because we can't have the dogs over here at the in-laws. So anyways, I get over there to drop off some snacks and stuff. One of my dogs has a freaking fish hook sticking out of her mouth.
Yuck.
Yes. And so I'm looking at her. I'm like, you stupid dog. She's like this lab. She's supposed to be a lab boxer mix, but I think she's more like a lab pit mix, but whatever. But yeah, she's got this fishing lure like this. And I'm like, what in the hell did you do? And so I look at her. I look at how it is. It's all the way through the lip. So I'm like, all right. So I go out to the car. I get my wire cutters, come back in. I have to get her in a headlock, and I snip off the hook and pull it out, and then she's just like, oh boy, thank you, Dad. So
those dogs are pretty resilient, man. And
they are.
I know what I would be laying down crying about. They tend to do. I was playing catch with a dog this one time, and we were just sitting on our driveway, and this dog was bringing this thing back and forth. Well, he never stopped. And then all of a sudden I see blood everywhere.
Oh, shit.
And he literally ran the pads off his and wow. The owner walked up and he just pulled him off. But yeah, that was like a 4-day recoup for the dog after that day. That was just craziness. Your dog's all right though, huh?
Oh yeah, she's fine. Like I said, she's just a big dum-dum. I think she's like 2 years old, still way too much energy and gets into way too many things that she shouldn't. So, It is what it is. Now, interestingly enough, though, that's not my first time running into an instance with a fish hook. You want me to tell you what my first instance with a fish hook was?
I don't know. I don't know if we want it to know.
My brother and I are out fishing with my dad. I'm like probably 13. He's like a year or so younger. And he's walking in front of me. He's got his pole over his shoulder, just all and his lure is just slinging. I'm not paying attention to it, right? Next thing I know, I feel this in my lip. And I'm like, whoa. And I grab the line and I holler at him. And of course, what happens when a person hears their name yelled? They spin around. So thank God I had a death grip on this thing. And he's like spins around and I'm like, "Arr!" So needless to say, we go running to Dad. I'm like, oh, and he sees the hook in my lip and he's like, okay, you're not going to like me very much. So what he does, he cuts the line, right? He cuts the hook off the lure and he's like, all right, well, it has not gone all the way through yet. So there's one of two ways to handle this. I can either try to pull it out, which is going to tear, or I'm going to have to just push it the rest of the way through and pull it out because of the barb. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's what he does. He cuts the hook and he pushes it the rest of the way through, gets it out. Little bit of blood. I cried like crazy, but it is what it is.
Wow. Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's.
Absolutely. Happy Valentine's, everybody.
Awesome. Andrew, what we got going on this week?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things going on this week. How about if I start with this? For one, we are doing our fishing tournament this weekend, this coming weekend, February 20th.
Groundhog's Day of a fishing tournament.
The Groundhogs fishing tournament. It seriously has been like rescheduled, and so I feel bad. Like I'm texting everybody who said they were coming the first time. I'm like, I just want you to know it's not us. We went out last weekend and people were out and we would have done it, but it's even colder this weekend. So they bumped it back another one. So we are going out on the 20th. The Ice Holes and Heroes group is going out on Saturday the 20th, and we're going to win this fishing tournament. My son from Bismarck, he's going to come all the way from Bismarck so he can fish on Saturday. It'll be a great time. At least he won't be cold because goodness knows it's cold in Bismarck. We have that. And then, we made a little mention about it being Valentine's Day. And I was going to go into length about that, but we just know that, it's all about the love today, Valentine's Day. So we have, this week is actually starting today, National Salute to Veteran Patriots. All week long is a tribute to our veteran patients. And it's always deserved week of Valentine's Day because it's all about the love. But during this week, we will pay tribute to veterans. We will increase community awareness of the role of the VA medical centers. They get their push in this salute to veteran patients. We will encourage people to visit hospitalized veterans and then keep encouraging volunteerism in and with the VA. And let me just say, we've heard some really awesome stories about the VA. We always hear some not so awesome. Kind of sadly, I guess that's why they come to us, probably, is because their needs are being met elsewhere. And so I know that Mark and I have done some classrooms. The last one, I think, was a suicide awareness classroom through the VA, partnerships with the VA. And so there's good stuff out there. This is always every year, just for the purpose of kind of bringing closer together the VA, the patients, and the community, getting the community involved. This week is also Brotherhood Sisterhood Week, and I know that that kind of tends to lean on the spiritual side of things. But what I took from the description of the week is that we just honor those differences, but we all realize that we are the same, no matter creed or religion or culture. Tomorrow itself is President's Day, and I did a lot of research. I learned so much when I look at individual days like this. It was originally established in 1885 in recognition of President George Washington. The holiday then became popularly known as President's Day after, 1971 Uniform Monday Holiday Act. So they were attempting to create 3-day weekends for the nation's workers. So they called it a federal holiday. That leads me to George Washington's actual birthday, which is the 22nd. And there are 3 other presidents, including Abraham Lincoln, who have birthdays during the month of February. Ironically, just a little note, George Washington's birthday is where it all started, but this day never falls on the third Monday. It's maybe the next day is his actual birthday. But just a blurb for Petey and I, and Scotty's wife, of course. It's Love Teachers and Teaching Week, just so y'all know, love your teachers. In my case, I'm going back to school this week, so I get to see all the kiddos. So love your teachers, and I love teaching week. On that, the 19th, I found this is super interesting. It is National Vet Girls Rock Day. This is a group that was founded in 2019 to bring awareness to the contributions of women veterans across the country and in the United States military, and it provides an opportunity for women veterans to celebrate the bonds they formed during their service. It's tight. It's a tight group, and we're just looking forward. There will be a lot more with women in the service coming up, and so I just wanted to throw that one out there. It's on the 19th, National Vet Girls Rock Day. There's a website and everything, so check it out. Check it out. Good stuff.
Awesome.
All right, thanks so much. Yeah. So we got some amazing guests tonight. We've been, again, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to sound like a broken record. We have been absolutely blessed by the amazing organizations, individuals, and musicians that we've had come on to the People's Patriot Project. And tonight's still, we've just been blessed. Had awesome pre-show meetings with both of our guests tonight, and just have a wonderful direction. The walking tenor is with us, Jesus. Gosh dang it. I knew I'd mess it up. Jesus Daniel Hernandez. He's got an amazing gift for us at the end. He's got some time constraints, and so we're going to get him introduced. I want to real quick welcome Lori Moore to our show as well. She is the wife of a first responder. A first responder we actually had on our show 2 weeks ago. And Mr. Chris Moore. And we have always, me and Andrew were doing a little brainstorming, and we decided, and we're thinking, our unsung heroes don't get talked about enough. And those people that are in the foxhole with us, the spouses and the families that are there supporting that first responder or the veteran or the enlisted individual, get forgotten all the time. With that said, and I didn't necessarily ask for permission to do this, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'd like to lift the Call family from Casper, Wyoming, up to just some thoughts. They lost a soldier this week on Tuesday, Mr. Calvin Call, Fort Campbell, and our hearts go out to you. Nothing replaces this, and I just thank you for your sacrifices. And I know that's not something you want to be thanked for, but we thank you and your family for what you allowed. And so with that said, we need to lift that family up and support at the same time. Not to segue into Lori, but it's great to have you on the show, Lori. And we're excited to hear about what you have to offer. But for now, because of time and the classy, I feel like I'm with the mob right here. He's smoking his cigar, everything's slicked back. He's down in the. Here we go. It's we have Mr. The Walking Tenor. I'm not going to do it again. So it's good to have you here, Andrew.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, tell us about your philosophy in music and service, and where you were at and where you got, and what's the plans in the near future.
Well, I started actually singing since I was a kid. I grew up between Border City of El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, the safest city in the world. And so, growing up with the wanting, with the dream of actually singing, I was living in Amarillo, Texas during the time, and during the time I was working in the slaughterhouse. So it was during the years when I joined the army, and right away I got deployed to Iraq. Came back in 2004, and it was around 2007, yeah, 2007 something. I had a good opportunity to meet Placido Domingo. He's like he was the artistic director for Washington National Opera, and I went to his concert because I got a free ticket for being a soldier. I went backstage and I started talking to him, and one thing led to another one. I ended up singing in his dressing room, and he's like, "Well, you have a voice to sing opera." So I got out of the army 2008, and I started his program in 2008 to 2010. And after that, I kept working as an opera singer, and I started singing in Europe. I have done performance here at the Kennedy Center in Texas, in Ohio. I go to Mexico to perform, and I just released an album last year, and it was gonna be a great year, but then COVID came in and so stopped the plan on promoting it properly, doing the tours and everything. So one of the reasons I got into music more now than before is because it's like music is my medicine. There's no medicines that the doctors can give me at the VA can actually calm me down as music calms me. If I'm on a stage, if I'm singing or just creating music, that's what uplifts me. And one thing I've noticed is that is the power of music. It's not only with me, but also with other people. It's a way to communicate a feeling and emotion to people who are going through a hard time, or sometimes you sing something and then all of a sudden that person evokes an emotion, and that's actually very powerful. It's very powerful. It's like a nurse who actually can. You have people who actually working with patients, and you know what to do, and sometimes you get to actually touch the heart of those patients in many ways that are very special. It's very similar because I mean, you in one way you do it physically. I think from my side, I do it emotionally. Um, and I think that right now, with the times that we live in, anything, every little bit that you do it to lift off the spirit, it counts.
Awesome. I love the message. I love the message. You got a song ready for us right now?
Yeah, I never walk away from my guitar very often. So this actually has been my best friend since I was 13 years old. My first guitar. And
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah, actually, I have a really cool thing about it. Like, if you look at it, it has a lot of breaks and scars. And I always think, it's kind of like the more cracks and scars it has, the better sounds it makes. And it's a reflection of practically who I am too. We all have scars and everything, but at the end, it makes you better. What is the word? What is the saying? All wine tastes better. All wine tastes better. So yeah, I have a song. The song I was thinking of singing live is a song. It's a Mexican song. It's called El Reloj, the clock, and but I'll be singing in Italian. It's the song, the title of my album, L'Orologio. This song, when the composer composed this song, his wife, she was dying. She had cancer, and it was the last night that that she was going to be alive. So on the song, the composer is asking the clock not to keep ticking on time, because the more ticking that it does, it's time that he's stealing away from his love, his wife. Yeah, she ended up dying the next day, and so when I was in Italy, after the concert, I was in a bohemian party, and I started singing with my guitar. So I sang this song in Spanish, and a friend of mine who is a poet, he loved the song that he translated into Italian. And as soon as he translated, I was like, I gotta record this, and I gotta make my album with the name of this song. And it's very special to me because this song is a song that I used to sing with my grandma all the time. So it is a song when I was a kid with this same guitar, sitting down on my sofa, and my grandma listening and singing along with me. It brings like very dear moments, dear memories on my mind. So I hope you like it. It's called L'Orologio. L'orologio non batter le ore, perché il mio amore con lei se ne andrà ormai per sempre, via quando l'alba verrà. A me resta solo stanotte per vivere ancora il mio amore. Maldita che non mi ricordi che il tempo ormai non l'ho più. Orologio trattiene il tuo tempo, perché il mio amore con me, la stella che è solo la luce, senza suo amor non esisto. Trattiene il tuo tempo, ti prego, rendi stanotte infinita, così resterà sempre qui sul mio cuore, e all'alba non mi lascerà.
Holy cow, brother. You are a gift to this world.
Amazing, dude.
Thank you.
Wow.
I was just... So we never know how this stuff's going to go when it's live. And I'll be honest with you. There's times where it's really tough to get through and listen to the performer. That was the best sound we've had all year. That was amazing. And
absolutely.
You delivered it, brother. Holy cow! Yeah, it's a very touching song, and it has this kind of sweetness. You don't even have to actually understand the language to know that has some sweetness on it. When the composer wrote this song, he wrote it down in that kind of like style, on the circle of on a circle. I was a pom pom pom, because at the same time he's talking about the sweetness. It's the sweetness that his wife brought to him, and then when he goes into the higher note, it's where you can actually hear the cry of on the lyrics where he's begging, the time to stop, because she's not gonna be there anymore when the sun rises up.
You are an absolute host to your craft. It is absolutely mesmerizing. I don't know Spanish and or Italian, and I mean, I could sit down and listen to that all day long, and that was awesome. And just the impact, the fact that it's closely connected to you with your family and just a lifelong. I'm a pile of mud right now. So I thank you for that amazing gift, and thank you for the message behind that.
you want to keep listening to it, download the album.
For sure.
I promised myself I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah.
You get, hey, brother, that's what we're here for. You download Jesus Daniel Hernandez. He's got tenor in the front of it. So tenor Jesus Daniel Hernandez. Download that thing. That's how we support our veterans and first responders. That's why we do what we're doing. That's why we put the message out here. And we just are so thankful you're here with us, Jesus. And you knocked it out of the park. And so we thank you.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. And again, like I said, we've got another amazing gift from Jesus that we're going to play at the end of the show. He's got some time constraints. He said he had about 30 minutes. We're right at 27. So we got you. I'm actually going to say bye for now. It's not goodbye, but we'll see you later, brother. Let's stay connected, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. And I'm sorry I'm in a time constriction right now. It's really nice meeting you all. And anytime if you need any support or singing support for someone that is for a veteran or for any of the essential workers, let me know. I'll be more than happy to actually shoot out a video singing or something, and just to lift up some the spirit. That's what I'm here for.
Patriot pride, brother. Patriot pride.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night.
We will.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your gift and craft, brother.
Hasta luego. Un abrazo.
Yeah.
So this makes it so easy. It allows us to get our mission out there. It allows us to share with the world what we're trying to get done. And Jesus was an amazing gift to us. And so if you are finding that you're having a struggle, sharing with the rest of the world where you're at, what's going on, that's why we're here. We're the People's Patriot Project. We the people, the People's Patriot Project. We're here to be boots on the ground and build relationships and to accommodate the need of those that might have a struggle for a minute, might have a struggle for a moment. That struggle may leach into other areas. Our goal is to lighten the load, be here for you. And, whether it's a handshake, a hug, or a sandwich, or even if it goes a little deeper than that, we're here for you. Anyone that's on screen here, you can just reach out. And I don't know that if I got quick access to my phone number here, but I'll call it out right now. 763-238-5971. Shad has got his community number that
Actually, I
not.
don't have that anymore. I ended up, I didn't have as good of a turnout with that as I thought I would.
Fair enough.
And so I was like, you know what? I had to do away with that one.
I appreciate. Well, we should probably talk about that before I pitched it, but that's
It's okay.
and that's on me. And we do have other channels in which you can reach. We're trying to find the best tool to get out all the information. You can go to our website at www.thepeoplespatriotproject.org. We know that's a little long, but once you get it in there and populate it, it'll be good. You can also see us on Facebook. You're with us right now. We've got our page, we got our sites, we got our group, and then we've also got We Got Your 6 at 6 group as well. So if you're having a problem finding us, look for the green. We are your beacon. I'd like to introduce our next guest, Miss Lori Moore. She came to us through some conversations that we had with a previous guest. And we've been kind of going along with a theme, and it worked right perfect going into Valentine's Day and going into just, I guess, a frustration in that we celebrate those that serve. And some of those that serve the most don't even get recognized. And that's the family members that are behind stage when we got our firefighters running out the fires. We got our police officers who are holding everything in right now to do while they're doing their jobs. We got those caring mothers and fathers who've got their young daughters and sons out there, and spouses who've got their troop is deployed or overseas. The unsung hero, the family member. And so we wanted to bring, Andrea has started a conversation, and I want to let you run this a little bit, Andrea. Andrea started a conversation with Miss Moore, and well, why don't you take that away?
Well, so we just kind of, I guess Chris kind of actually, I probably brought it up with him because he brought up his wife and how supportive she has been. And I've been talking with a few other guests and friends about focusing for a series of guests on the spouses, family, and the support team that our first responders and our military have. And kind of with Kim Danette Band, how they kind of have each other as well. Kim introduced that and she spoke to it a little bit, having been the wife of military. And so then when Chris was on, it kind of followed right into checking in with Lori. And Lori was more than willing to come on and just kind of share. I'm sure we all can imagine what it's like. We've seen movies, we've read books, we hear, little blurbs on Facebook or social media, but to have an actual person here sharing what it can be like to be by the side of a first responder. I kind of thought that would just be a really good way to direct our thoughts this weekend.
Yeah.
So, and Lori mentioned, is your connection okay, Lori?
I think it's fine, but when Jesus was on, it was very cut in and out. I could hardly hear what he was saying.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
And you've been a little sketchy too. I can hear Mark fine and Shad fine.
Oh, so
Okay.
Andrea's a sketchy one?
Okay.
Yeah, she's a sketchy one.
Don't trust. Don't trust.
Lori, did you know what you're getting into? I mean, when did you and Chris first meet?
We met in 2000, and then I moved down here in 2001.
And he was already a firefighter.
He was when I met him, he was in paramedic school, and when I moved down here, he was getting ready to graduate from the fire academy. So yeah, he was basically.
Do you have any idea what you're getting into?
A little bit. I have 3 cousins that were in the fire department over in Pennsylvania. It was volunteer, but they were very involved in it. And I knew other firefighters just through mutual friends. But coming into this. No, I mean, we, when he graduated, basically they did a class, some of the spouses of other firefighters, they did like a little class just to kind of give you the heads up of, don't change the way you do things when you're home. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong when they're at the station, and you have to learn to be very independent and handle things and take care of things yourself, because they can't just come home, if something happens. And, for instance of that is when we had our son, he was 6 months old. Chris left to go to Louisiana for 2 weeks, and I got sick as a dog the next day. So, I mean, luckily my in-laws are local, and they took our son during the day so that I could just at least rest and, get feeling better. But it was, he left and I had to deal with situations. And then as, further into his career, and as our son got older, you just have those fights that you think are just typical marriage things, because he's gone shift work. Our son was playing sports nonstop. I work full time, so there's just never enough time in the day to get things done. And you just have those little nitpicky fights every few months or so, and then things are okay. And then it, it happens again. It's just that hamster wheel keeps going for a while.
Sure. How old's your son?
He is going to be 16 in a couple months.
And probably doesn't get a chance to see dad as much as he wants to during his shift days.
Correct.
And probably doesn't get to go to all the sporting events that he wants to. And okay.
Chris missed out, on a lot of stuff, but there was times that he could come, he'd bring the engine, the guys would come to his ball games or whatever. But, it was always me there. But he tried to be there as much as he could. But you can't change the baseball schedules just because dad's working.
Absolutely. How does your son feel about having a firefighter in the house?
I think he enjoys it. And especially when during the summertime, the days that dad's off, they can go to the beach, he can go surfing. So, there's advantages to having a parent home quite a few days a month.
Who's a better cook, you or him?
Oh, he is for sure. And I, joke and always say that that's the reason why I stay married, because he is such a good cook. And, I don't really like to cook. So.
Did he make you something nice today?
We actually, we had a late lunch, and so we went out and just, had a nice time because son is out of the house for the day. And
oh yeah. Nice. Good. So what kind of tools have you and Chris put in there together to make sure that things are in check? Things are going to go awry. He knows things are going to go awry. Do you guys have tools that you guys use that help each other?
Right now it's really just trying to really communicate. If he's having a bad day, he'll let me know. He may text me at work and just say, look, I'm having a bad day. So at least I know when I get home what I'm walking into. And that, if he's moody or grouchy, then it's like, okay, I understand. He may not always know what triggers things, but it's the communication that we really need to have to help each other.
What happens when you have a bad day?
I usually don't tell anybody. I just kind of keep going. My work doesn't stop when I get home, so I just go. But there are times that, I have reached out to a few friends that understand, and I've have found a few first responder wives that understand what we go through, and we reach out to each other and we'll talk to each other.
That is so awesome. I hope you get to stay on a little bit after, so during post shows. There's some things that I like to discuss, and maybe we can put into place, and maybe you'd be a good spearhead if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
For those that are listening, we're not trying to trap Lori in any conversations. We've had some conversations previous. She's shared that they're recently going through some rough times, and that they're working through it with the best that they got. And you know what? Sometimes it's not always seen. We're dealing not only with the service of the fire department, we're also dealing with that invisible enemy that sneaks up onto our first responder. And it's not that everyone. I've heard this argument, or it's not even an argument. I heard this statement, this phrase. They knew what they're getting into. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a first responder on this earth that knew what they were getting into.
No.
There wasn't. You don't know that you've got to comfort a child on the side of the road while they're scraping their mommy and daddy off the road. And that's your job at that moment. Or maybe you're the one doing the scraping at that time. And this is the kind of stuff that sneaks back up on our first responders, that they compartmentalize things. They put them in their little safe place and say, I can handle this, I can deal with this. I want to save a life at this moment. I want to save a life tomorrow as well. But then there's that quiet moment when things are down and things aren't, and that piece comes back. That frightened little child, or that person that was afraid as they were taking their last breaths. no one knew what this was about. And I thank God, and I'm not using that loosely. I'm not an overly spiritual person, but thank God for the ones that do run into burning buildings, and for the ones that do hold the hands of the ones taking their last breath, and the ones that do their job while they're getting spat on and not really taken for what they're worth and what they're doing and what they've dealt with. And thank you, all you first responders. But now we give tribute to them, but then we got amazing people like Lori here, who's behind the scenes and has to pick up the pieces of that first responder who struggles at the moments, and probably struggles at the moments where, and Lori's already said, when she keeps her bad days undercover, and she probably needs that little help. I don't know how deep you want to get into it, and again, I'm not trying to trap you. I'm just going to go there. This week was a struggle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has. We've had hit some major issues in our marriage, and it's been things that have been building up for a long time. And we have both decided, we're going to go to marriage counseling together, and I am going to go to counseling on my own to help deal with this whole situation and just help me try to better understand what he goes through, but just help me through things, because there's just been a lot of hurt and pain over the years. I mean, this demon that has been at him, it took a long time for us to know what it was. Like I said, you have those fights after being married for so many years, and you just think it's everyday life, but there was an elephant in the room that we didn't know about really what it was until a few years ago. Because right before he did finally get help, I was ready to leave. I was very close to telling him that I was going to end our marriage because I just couldn't handle things anymore. But he started getting help, and it's been very, very helpful. And then him getting the dog has been really helpful also. It's a good support system for him. And, Lewis follows me around the house too. So he's gotten very
attached. You don't give him any treats or snacks under the table, do you?
No. Occasionally, he might get a French fry or something, but
why is my dog overweight? I don't know.
But I think it's, he's been a good addition for all of us in the family, because he's just a very, very loving dog, and it's definitely helped.
So
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just speaking to the getting help and following up, and Chris spoke to that as well when he kind of realized there was something bigger than what could be helped at home. Where do you go? How do you find that help? I know a lot of our first responders, a lot of our military won't go where there's an uncomfortableness when people know you. Can you use, like, as a teacher, we're given avenues of a group that supports teachers, and it's in our insurance network and it's in our web. I don't know that would be a comfort zone. I would want to go outside. So where do you look? Where did you start that search?
Well, for him, one of the chiefs had kind of, talked to him, and he reached out to him Chris reached out and was like, hey, who do you know that can help me? Because he had, this chief had mentioned something about that they had somebody that was, a therapist, counselor that they dealt with first responders. They dealt with military, so that would be a good avenue for him. And that's what got him started going. And actually, the therapist that he sees now, she recommended somebody for me, and I had a telehealth appointment last week, but we both decided that she wasn't a good fit for me because she deals more with trauma, but she has given me some names of other people that, could probably help, and even some other, marriage counseling names. So it's just, you have to research it. I mean, there's a wealth of information out on the internet, but you really have to find somebody, especially for first responders, military, that somebody that deals with what they go through, because they're going to understand it better.
Right. Right. That's useful.
So prior to this conversation, I mean, I did a little bit of research to go out and find those organizations, and sadly, it's one of those pieces that I just don't think we've got enough bandwidth on in the world.
No, I don't think there's enough people out there, for first responders to reach out to.
Absolutely. And Andrea's absolutely 100. She's got this amazing story of a first responder. She just recently talked to a Leo who literally said, you know what, I'm not going to come to a place in my community. I'll go to a place outside of my community. And we just need to trudge forward is what we need to do. And it's kind of sad because we're moving forward carrying a lot of weight. You're carrying a lot of weight. Chris is carrying a lot of weight. I would, if I can give advice, as ill advice as it is right now, it would be reach out to those first responder wives or those first responder spouses, actually. Try and create a support group amongst yourselves and to talk about this stuff. It's not gossiping. It's not meant with ill intent. It is meant to save your relationships, and outside of even saving your relationships, it's also meant to save lives. We're losing between 17 and 75 first responders and veterans every single day. Chris has even talked about that, and I'm sure that is a fear that is constantly haunting you in the back of your head. And I know things are being put in place, and he's got the right avenue. And I only feel right talking about it a little bit in the fact that he brought it up during our show 2 weeks ago. And we just need to put the pieces. We got to fill this puzzle up. And that is where we would like to go. Again, resources are a gigantic piece. I'm gonna challenge you, Lori. I know you got a job, you got a family, you're doing what you're doing. I was going to talk about post-show stuff. We got a Facebook user out there saying it's far harder to be a spouse in my experience, and so my heart goes out to you. Their identity's not coming. I can put up the comment, but bless your heart. When you're having those hard moments, and again, that's what we're here for, the People's Patriot Project. And I'm going to challenge. This is us. There needs to be a proactive attempt to create. I'm going to call it an initiative. I'm going to call it a campaign where we are getting people in place. It's part of the safety net to accommodate. And I do believe to serve is therapeutic. I do believe that being in the know and knowing what direction you're going and knowing that you're in control is therapeutic. And I think we've got a huge task in front of us, but I think it's an achievable task, to be honest with you. Whether it just starts at a department level and you and your crew get together and support, it's a piece that needs to be put in place.
Well, I had mentioned to Chris, and we had kind of mentioned it to one of the higher ups in the fire department, that I would like to get another firefighter spouse or even do it on my own and start these classes again for significant others, spouses, whatever, whoever is dealing with the firefighter that's new coming in, just to give them a heads up of what to expect as, being in part of the fire department family, of, like I said, the plumbing might go, or, a light breaks, or, whatever, the kids get sick, you got to take them to the doctor, but also to talk about what they see over the years, how it can affect them, and to look for those signs so that they know and they can be aware and that they can have these conversations sooner than what Chris and I did, because like I said, we didn't really know what was going on. And that way you can, nip it in the butt before it really gets bad, before you really spiral down into a really dark place and, to the point of no return.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to go in and scare the Jesus out of them saying, no, but, and it's not everybody's affected by it, but, a majority are. And, Chris and I were very private about this whole situation when things first started going on, but then we became more open about it. And a lot of our friends were very shocked that, he was dealing with what he was dealing with and that what was going on, because we hid it very well. You come over and, you got the happy family, and it wasn't always that way, but we're more open about it because people need to know and people need to be able to reach out for help. The stigma has to change.
Well, you fake it to make it is what you do. And then everyone's like, oh, shocked when it comes crashing down at the end, or it gets worse than divorces, sadly and unfortunately. And I hate saying that, but and I don't think that is a scare tactic. I think it needs to be part of the process of, hey, I need you to sit down. You need to hear a message. And the strong Lori's not Lori. I'm not sure who it is because the Facebook user's name's not coming up, but you're the backbone here, Lori. And the part that saddens me about this is all I've heard you do is talk about Chris and his needs. And we also need your needs being taken care of as well. And that's so important. And I am so glad you came and shared. I don't even think we're touching the tip of the iceberg on what we could really discuss and where we could go with this. And it is essential. I hope this starts a fire for you. This is the spark that causes an inferno that no firefighter is ever going to put out, where we can go forward and we can put teams of people together. It doesn't take a lot of training, people. I'm going to tell you this right now. A lot of our firefighters go into service with not all the training they need. They learn 90% of what they need to learn. They learn during their service. That's the same thing that's happening with the spouses of first responders. And so it is important to get the message out. It's not divulging. It's not glorifying. It's not doing any of those things. We've got. It's not a bigger and better story. This is real life stuff, and these are the coolest damn people on the face of the earth because they're the ones that chose to go into service. And that's only 6% of our society. And if they're not there to do it, who's going to do it? Who's going to put the fires out?
Not me.
Lori, if you don't have my number, please make sure you get it.
I will.
I think Andrea would be a good resource for you as well. We're not done. We need to build something and build it quick. We're not even close to getting all the pieces put in place.
No, Lori, so even though we talked, you brought up can I ask at that spouses meeting at the introduction, do they focus a lot on the mental and emotional toll that it will take?
No, that wasn't even brought up back then. And I mean, that was 20 years ago. So I'm sure it was an issue back then, but nobody talked about it. And I don't think it was as big of an issue then. But no, it was just more or less of just really what to expect coming into this new life with a firefighter.
Mm-hmm. Because where I was thinking, my brain was going from there was if they could focus on that, your bond with the other spouses may have been stronger from the get-go. And I think that, and I'm looking from the inside, from the outside, but I feel like that might have been a huge place. Or to have a spouse who's been around a dozen years come in and mentor that piece of it. Just that connection. It's very similar to the story of young soldiers coming back from war and not getting that transition counseling. And we've heard stories of where they leaned on each other, which used to be a couple weeks just to get back from wherever they were. And now it's, you're back in a day and they check you out and away you go. And they don't share all of those inner workings from being in the field, so to say. And so when you got to you have family there, and that's amazing. I know moving into a community where you know absolutely nobody and you have 3 little kids and your work days overlap, what do you do? And how do you be ready for that? And there wasn't stress about, the other's job being on fire at any given moment or someone shooting at them at any given moment. So I didn't have that extra stress. I can't even imagine having that on top, that concern on top of taking care of kids. So you made some amazing points to aiming toward the healing now, but catching it before it gets there as well. Yeah. Amazing points having you here.
I think if people can catch it before it really gets bad, then you've got a better chance at making things easier and better and just happier and really getting your first responder the help that they need right away.
Well, and the spouses too.
One of the spouses that had reached out to me before, she lives out in California, and the first time we talked on the phone and just different things she was talking about, I was like, oh my God, that's my life too. So it's nice to have that with another firefighter, first responder spouse, because they get it. They understand, and we can bounce things off each other.
Absolutely.
I can say one thing that the Army does really well, which as a soldier, when we're going through it, we don't think it, but their family readiness groups, while we're deployed, they always have your company level is always ran by the first sergeant's wife or the company commander's wife that's got 18, 19 years in, or your battalion level, you've got the lieutenant colonel that's been in there forever, and they mentor these young private spouses while we're down range and go through classes and tell them exactly what you were saying, what to expect when we come back. Because I can tell you, I got hurt 2 months after me and my wife got married, and I put her through a lot. And she had plenty of time that she could have just said, I'm done and bye. And these days, I see the stuff that you guys as the spouses are dealing with. So I think it's something that needs to be done more in the first responder side and even the veteran side, that more of the family readiness groups are getting together and the spouses are helping each other. You never know when someone just needs you to watch their kid for 5 minutes so they can get a little break, just a little time to themselves. Hiding in the closet eating Oreo isn't time to yourself.
Right.
So that's something that I really do believe in, and anything I can do to possibly help you get anything set up, Lori, I am here for you 100%.
Thank you.
Love it.
We got a lot of our fans are out there lifting you up, Lori, and I'm just. So this conversation is not over. I don't want us to splash a bunch of stuff out here We got post show coming up. If you're interested in being part of the post show, reach out to us real quick. We will get you the information to be in here to see what's going on during post show. It's about collaboration. It's about growth. It's about learning. It's about making things better for our veterans and first responders. We are at our 1 hour mark. Does anyone on the panel here have any questions or concerns you want to get out there real quick? So we do have one more amazing gift, and this is a time-honored song that Jesus has given us. He's covered a song, and it was perfect before the show started, and it is even more so now. The original artist, Louis Armstrong, it is probably one of the greatest songs ever sang for multiple reasons. And we will get through this. We'll continue to work together. But ultimately, it's a beautiful world. And it's not always beautiful at all moments. Sometimes you got to find that silver lining. But I'm going to tell you this right now, even though it's a green one, and I'm going to have to come up with a green silver lining now. This is our silver lining here, man. And I know that there's some growth that's going to happen because of this. We thank you. And we're going to sign off with the walking tenor, Jesus Daniel Hernandez. What a beautiful world. And with that, Patriot Pride. Happy Valentine's, and we will see you when the smoke clears.
I hope within this song you can actually think of all those beautiful moments that you have spent with others. And to think in the future when we can actually grab each other, give us a hug, give you a hug, and stop in the streets and say hi, shake those hands, and say, I miss touching you, I miss being with you. This song is What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies so blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're only saying, I love you. I see babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also in the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.